Okay, here's part two to what we were working on. I have so far done the composite itself. I've done frequency separation and flattened it. I have now painted on the portraiture, which is a plug-in that you can buy from Imaginomic.com. I believe that's the name of it. It's a little pricey, but it is 100% worth it if you don't already have it. It's great for newborns. I have taken out some of the red. She doesn't have a whole lot in her. Now I think I left off with working on the levels. So I tend to, when I look at my levels, I'm looking for gaps because you want the histogram to go completely across all the way from whites to blacks. So right now we have two sets of gaps. We have a gap in the white, which means we can brighten it. And we have a gap in the blacks, which means we can darken it in areas. And then the midtones literally just lightens the whole thing. Now for people who prefer a more shadowed look, they will probably go down in their midtones. People who like more light and bright, which tends to be me, I will go a little bit up on my midtones. It's also knowing your monitor. So my monitor is a little dark. I have to make things a little bit brighter for print. So I'm aware of that when I'm editing. And then the last thing I do is I use this. This action is from Paint the Moon. That's what PTM, Paint the Moon. And it is, I think it's called Soft Peach Skin Glow. And then I will brush it on at about 50%. So it brightens her quite a bit. Gives her like this kind of peachy glow. If I think sometimes it's too much, so I'll turn it on and off and go, okay, is that too much? Is it too little? I think it definitely gets rid of the gray, but I think it's a little bit bright. So I tend to go at like 75% is about what I pull it down to. And then the last couple of little things I will look for is, does she have a little bit of a rosy cheek? Most babies do. I don't have to do a lot. I might fill in just a little bit for girls, not too much. A little bit in the lips. And then my final step is this is the portraiture layer, and as long as I made sure I turn it down, I don't need it anymore. So I just flatten it with the background layer, and then I run a clarity level, which it's kind of like sharpening, but it's not sharpening exactly. And I do this strictly, you could tell this was not the best picture at all to use because it's a little on the soft side. So it just kind of darkens a little bit the places that we need. And that would be a final image. Now, here is a little caveat of what you can do. So if you're seeing like right here, there's a little bit of a shadow, I might use this Lighten Me at the lowest opacity possible and kind of just fill it in a little bit. And I will turn it down. And then the other thing that you can do to kind of enhance this picture just a little bit is to create the gradient background that gives the nice blanket fade. Like this doesn't bother me. I wouldn't normally do this, but just for the sake of showing you, I will do it. So back here on this background layer, I'm going to we're going to create a gradient layer. So the first thing we're going to do is go onto our actual color swatches and pick right smack dab in the middle. And then go to the gradient tool. And then pull this over here. So mine automatically defaults to, it starts at the bottom, so I just tell it to reverse. And dither basically helps it to break up the gradient layers. So if you know anything about gradients, it creates like a 10-step pattern from white all the way to black. And so the dither helps to blend each layer color better. So having dither on helps with banding quite a bit. Now it doesn't get rid of banding, it just helps it. And then I will go into here to the gradient editor. I will take this top. So this shortens the gradient itself quite a bit. And I hit OK, hit OK again. Now we see it's much darker over here. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to brush it off with Baby. Make sure I'm on black. Just making sure. It's a shortcut key to see your quick fill. It is the backslash tool. I'm all about shortcuts. Okay, we should be good. We should be off of her pretty much. Now I could stand it to be a little bit darker. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go into here. And I'm going to pull this down a little bit until I find a green that I actually like. That may be a little too dark. That probably works better. So that's better. It just kind of gives it a better blend. But as you can see here, here is the banding that we're dealing with. And I will create a video on banding and how to help that in just a second. So this to me would be a completed image, and we would save it and move on.